Hi-ho, Keegan the Vlog here. Welcome to a tangent episode of TR3 Wrench Time. We're going to do something that we haven't done before. We're going to do a tool review. Actually, we're going to unbox, we're going to assemble, and we're going to use a new transmission jack. This is a Sunex 7796 REV B. That is important. I bring up the REV because there was some discrepancy in the documentation that I think was probably just between the revisions of the tool. We used it to put the transmission back in the DeLorean. You're going to see how easy that was. I'll link to another video where it goes through the whole process as part 3 of the clutch disaster for the DeLorean. This tool performed fantastic, and I don't think we could have done it with the one that we took the transmission out of the car with. That's sitting outside now. That thing about killed us because once the transmission had cleared all of its fouls, it was coming down and we couldn't stop it. So we got rid of that one. We got a new one. This was at the recommendation of a couple of mechanics at a local shop that we're friends with, and suggested this because the build quality is similar to something that you would see at a professional shop, but it doesn't cost quite as much as like a gray or something like that. And it probably wouldn't stand up to daily constant use, but hey, that's not what we need it for. We need it maybe 2 or 3 times a year. We're going to unbox this, we're going to assemble it, and we're going to use it. And spoiler alert, it's going to be a good review. So let's get into it. I know the YouTubes enjoy the unboxing, so here we go with unboxing of the new transmission jack, and we're going to put this guy together. Empty. Check. Here is the platform. Look at that. I like seeing good packaging. Ah, casters. Casters. Check. Wow, that got its own box. That is quite heavy. All right, a little bit of a snag so far. The set screws that go in here, only one of them we're threading in. It looks just like paint. So I'm just chasing these threads to see if I can get these set screws to set. And in case you're curious, these are M10 by 1.5. Much better. See, those are going right on now. Used to be that right there, so we're gonna go locking. So I think the idea is to have the locking casters next to your feet operating these controls here, so all the foot controls are in a place where you can get to them. $19mm. All right, unclear when we were supposed to putting the legs on. It says do not tighten, and then we get to the end and it doesn't say anything about tightening. So we're gonna go ahead and tighten up these legs. All right, so this thing's together. That's everything. Okay, we are going to follow these instructions here to I guess bleed this hand pump section. So, all right, these instructions do not pertain to this device. Anyway, so now we're going to go through purging air from the secondary stage hydraulic system. So that's what we were supposed to do. Okay, turn the release knob valve in a clockwise rotation until it stops. So this is the correct procedure for this because it's talking about the right hardware. Tilt the entire jack on 2 casters. All right, let's talk about pros and cons of this transmission jack. So first, it's less expensive than the more common ones that you would see at a professional shop, yet it is built pretty sturdy and it has all the features that you would see from one in a professional shop. It was really easy to assemble. This operation is very easy. It's very smooth. It's a 2-stage device, so you plug in compressed air to it, and you get the big piston at the bottom with the compressed air, and then you finish it off with the hydraulic section at the top. Let's talk about cons. Really not much here. The instructions were a bit lacking. There was a card in there that pertained to maybe an older model of this thing or a different model of this thing. Other than that, not a big deal. You just have to pay a bit of attention and improvise a little bit. Like it doesn't tell you to tighten the bolts, but you obviously have to tighten the bolts. Tinkering necessary to assemble it with the chasing of the threads. Again, not a big deal. I think I would rather have a little bit heavier paint and have the metal protected than to deal with rust. So all in all, I really can't complain about this thing. And here you can see us finishing up installing the DeLorean transmission. So this was a pretty challenging install. The things had to be adjusted just right, the angles just right. This stand handled it perfectly, and that was very satisfying. All right, that's going to do it for the Sunex Transmission Jack product review. Thanks for watching. If you want to see this thing truly in action, I know you got to see a little bit of screen with this being used, but the part 3 of the DeLorean clutch disaster videos, I'll put a link to it in the description, shows us using this to get the transmission back in a DeLorean. That's a pretty tight fit. This thing was perfect. All the little tweaks you can do to it. We got to get the transmission just right and push it right into place. This worked perfectly for that. So I have to recommend it. It is going to be less than half the cost of a name brand. When it's like a gray or something like that, you're going to spend $2,500, and this one's somewhere around $1,000 with shipping. I really have absolutely no complaints about this thing and would recommend it to anybody that's not running a professional shop. If you're using a transmission jack every day, you probably want to spend a little bit more money and get a gray or something like that that's going to stand up to years of constant use. But for the hobbyist, or maybe a little bit more than hobbyist, somebody that's got a shop, then I say go for it. Great product. Hey, thanks for watching. If you're into this sort of thing, consider liking and subscribing, and see you next time on TR3 Wrench Time.